Hello, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday night. I'm hopping on a couple minutes early because I want to pull you guys up on my phone. And then I also want to share me into my groups. So welcome, welcome. Come on in. I'm going to pull this up and then let's see. Whoops, hang on. I'm Let me get rid of messages. Sorry. I have messages popping up. And I need to be on my page. And let's find me. And here I am. Get rid of messages. Sorry. Let me get rid of the volume. So yeah, so come on in. I will check out comments in just a second. Oh, it went somewhere. I didn't want it to go. Here it is. Okay, so let me share really quick. I want to share it into my Heavenly Fake Bake Decor group so I can say hello to all you in there as well. So let me grab that really quick. And, oh, here we are. Okay, so let me get that in there. But come on in, say hello. I am so excited to be part of this event. Let me grab this other one really quickly. And hang on. So sorry. Well, I know I'm a couple minutes early, but that's okay. I wanted to make sure that I got on here and that I could connect to the other groups, and then also just to make sure if I had any connection issues, because sometimes Facebook and StreamYard don't want to play too nice. So, okay. So I think let me pull us back up in our regular group. Let's see. Where are we? I accidentally pulled myself out of here, so let me pull back in. Okay, I think I got us. All right. So yeah, there we are. Hi Shay. Hey, welcome. Hi Jen. I see you. Awesome. Welcome, Carol. Okay, I'm gonna hook my phone over here. So yay, welcome in. First time watching you from Virginia. Well, welcome. I'm so happy to hear that. So I'm excited that you are here. So excited to be part of the Santa Beach Bash that's put on by Jen. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got a few things. Let me move my mouse. Hey, Maria, welcome. So, let me grab my other camera. I like to grab this so I can show you guys up close what we're making. So let's grab that and then I can share with you. Okay, yay. Oh, hi, Alexis. Welcome. Nice that you're here. Okay, so we are making what am I calling him? Did I even name him? I don't think I did. I usually do. Okay, so we're making a snowman snow globe cookie. And I'm going to show you. This is what it looks like so far. And then we're going to put the little snow globe on top. I left this one off so that I can do it with you to show you how I do it. So anyway, so this is what we're making, our little snowman. He's looking up with the little snowflakes coming down. So what you're going to need, I've got him perched up here on my little mason jar. So I'm going to stick him over there. Okay, so I could not find, I have a Let It Snow mug. I have a Santa, I don't remember exactly what he says. Santa, could not find that. But I did find my winter kisses. So I figured that kind of goes along with my little snowman. Okay, so let me take a drink and then I'll tell you what we need and then we're going to get started. Okay, so all of the, let's see, not all of the parts of him. I was going to say, I'm going to show you again. Okay, so we're going to make these are little mini vanilla wafers. So we're going to make the mini vanilla wafers, but I'm using cabochons for my snowflakes and for the candy cane and also his little nose and then the little holly and the holly berries underneath of his chest or underneath his neck. And if you wanted to make all of those accessories, you could. I only made the cookies, and then we're going to make those tonight. So I have an hour with you, and I wanted to make sure that I could fit this into our hour without going over. So, so that's the only reason why I didn't make the other accessories. But if you wanted to, absolutely you could. So, okay, so for my cookie itself, I'm using Model Magic clay, and I like to use the little packages. You can use it in the bigger packages, and then if you did that, I would just weigh it out so that you know 1 ounce makes 1 cookie. And I'm using a large round cookie cutter, and this one is like almost 4.5 inches in diameter. And I'm doing that because we're using, for the snow globe part of him, her, what is he? We'll just call him a him. Either way. But anyway, for the snow globe portion of our cookie, I'm using these lids that look like this. So that's where we're getting the little snow globe effect from. And then these came in a package. These are like, I don't know for sure if it's for cupcakes or cookies, but these came in a package where there's actually a bottom too that comes with it, but I'm just using the top for the globe part. So welcome, Crafting and Cruising. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. My Joy Creations. Hello, Margarita. Frosted Fakes. Angel Friend. Hello. So good to see you. Yes, tell me where you're at. I always love saying hello to old friends, making new friends, and I love knowing where you're at. I'm in Ohio, and we are in the southern, kind of the corner where we are near the tri-state area of Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. Okay, so you're going to need those. What else do we need? Okay, and then for my little cookies, I created a mold. So for my cookies, what I did is I purchased real little mini vanilla wafers, and then I used a silicone mold kit, and then I just molded them. So you'll see I've got 2 of these that we're going to use. And then, whenever I make my cookies, if I'm going to make another project, when I mix up my resin, sometimes I will grab another silicone mold, and I did. This one is one that I made with chocolate chips. And so I grabbed that because when I go to make our little vanilla wafers, I'm making a little bit more than I need for these 2 molds so that I can pour them into my chocolate chip mold, because I'm going to need that later on. So welcome. Hi, Shanta. Welcome. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, and then I've got, for the icing, I'm going to be using lightweight spackle, and I'm also using, I like to use a combination. So I'm using the DAP lightweight spackle, Fast and Final, and then I'm also using the One Time by Red Devil, and I'm mixing them together. And the reason I do that is my Fast and Final is just too wet for me, and and I'll hold this up because we've got some new people popping in. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. She said I had cute t-shirts. So yeah, I'm a chicken mama. And so when it was our Christmas, I didn't have a Christmas, like a Santa Beach t-shirt. I did have an old-fashioned Santa t-shirt that I almost, like an old-fashioned Santa. I almost grabbed that, and then I ended up grabbing my chicken one, because I'm a chicken mama. I love my chickens. But anyway, I'll show you what we're making. So we're doing, it's kind of like, I'm kind of thinking of it in terms of like an old-fashioned look to it, and more of like a vintage look to it. And the reason I say that is because I teach workshops all the time. I actually have a cookie workshop coming up. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I did a previous workshop called the Gingerbread Bakery. And in the Gingerbread Bakery, the 2 colors that I was really geared to were like the vintage, the little mint green, and then that soft pink. And so when I was making him, I was thinking about that workshop, and I was thinking that, well, if I choose to do the mint green or even the soft pink in the background, then this cookie can go with all of those fake bake items that I made from the workshop. So anyway, I always like to think outside the box. I always tell all my members and, anybody that watches me, like, to think outside of the box. So when you're making something, think about other ways that you can use them. Think about other ways that you can use colors that will coordinate, so that you can create displays like like I said, I have the gingerbread workshop, and so I have certain ones we made there, and then I'm making this one live on my page tonight. So I know that I can pull some of those finished items and this one together and create a display that's cohesive. So okay, so yay. Oh, she says Crafting with a purpose. Awesome. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's for our icing. And then for the color I'm using, it's the Americana in the sea glass. So it looks like this. So that's the color I'm using to get like that vintage mint green color. And then for the actual cookies, I have the mold, but I'm using the fast cast. You can also use, it's a 10-minute resin. You can also use like the Alumilite makes a brand you can use. And then there's another brand that I've actually purchased and I haven't used yet. So I'm not going to mention that brand until I have some experience with it. But anyway, so that's what I'm using. So my little cookies are going to be made out of resin. I'll show you them in just a second. And then I'm just using some different pigment colors out of just an epoxy resin dye. They're highly concentrated. And so I'm known for my 3 R's. I do my research and development to make things look realistic, and then I create a recipe. So anyway, so in mine, I just played around until I came up with a color that I liked. That I always buy the real food first and then try to compare it with my as I experiment with my fake food. So anyway, so here's my little mini vanilla wafers. And then these are made out of resin. So you'll see, like, you can see the texture on the top of it. And then the bottom is just smooth where the resin, where I just, finished it off. Okay, so we've got the little resin cookies. Again, if you wanted to, you could create like your own little, I'm using cabochons, but you could create your own little snowflakes and candy canes, and I'm using like the little carrots for his nose. So anyway, I'm using those, but you could always like create your own out of clay, like polymer clay. That always works really well. For his little smile and his arms and his buttons, I'm using the slick paint and the brown fabric paint. And then I just grabbed some of my chunky glitter. Since it's going to be snow, I wanted more of a chunky look to it. And what else? I do have my piping bag and my piping tip, and here's the reason. So, hi, Cynthia. Welcome. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate that. She said she loved my shirt. Okay, so here's the reason why I have the piping bag and the piping tip. When I go to do my cookie, and you'll see, I frost it with the icing first. Then I set my little globe down on top of it. So let me grab, here it is. I have an extra one because it's got a little bit of paint on it, or, spackle. Anyway, I set my globe down on top of it, and then I kind of etch it. And the reason for that is so that there's 2 reasons. The first reason is so that when I go to put my little scene on the cookie, I'm ensuring that it's all going to fit underneath that globe, so it's not sticking out or in the way. Because once I set it, I don't want to have to move the little pieces. And then the second part is that I want this to dry completely before I attach the globe, because if you don't, then you're going to have like the wet spackle, and it may not cure properly. So by letting it sit out and dry completely, and then coming back, and I'm using a piping bag, and then the piping tip that I grabbed was the number 3 by Sunny Side Up Bakery, and it's just this teeny tiny, just a round hole on the top. And then that way, because we've made the indentation with the top of the globe, I'm just going to take my piping bag and I'm just going to fill in that indentation. And it's a tiny, tiny tip. So I just need enough so that I can add more of the icing and then set the globe, and then the globe will be secure. Okay. And then that tiny bit of icing is just fine. Like, there's not enough you have to worry about it not drying. So, all right. I think I covered everything. Oh, I do have, so I do, again, do my research, create my recipes. So I have a recipe. I just call it my cookie base. I actually have several different ones depending on the project that I'm doing. For this one, I didn't bring out the actual, I already have it ready to go, and I mix it up, and then I put it in these little tubs, and then that way I just take a Sharpie, mark on there, and then I can just grab them out of my supplies when I'm doing my projects. So anyway, so I will tell you after my tutorial, I'll comment I can comment on the cookie base if you're interested in wanting to know what colors I use to get that cookie base. Because I don't know off the top of my head, and I don't want to just guess. And I don't have just one recipe. Like I said, I create lots of different recipes just depending on what I'm going to make. So anyway, so what we're going to do is you'll mix that up after we do your, after you roll out your cookies and they've completely cured, then you'll come back in and you're just going to, I'll hold that down. You're just going to paint the back of your cookie, that cookie base color. And then you're going to come up, you'll see like over the edge of the cookie. You don't have to paint the whole top because we're icing it. And you just don't need to use up that material in that way. So, okay, let me take a sip and then we'll keep going. And then as I go, just let me know if you have any questions. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up the little cookies, the little vanilla wafer cookies first, because those are resin. I'm using 10-minute resin, and those, obviously they take 10 minutes, but you have about a 2-minute work window when you're mixing up the white resin, and then it will set up in 10 minutes to where you can demold it. So anyway, so we'll make these right now, and then I have some, but I just want to make them with you, and then we'll set them aside, and then I can demold them later on during my presentation. So, all right, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I think I covered everything. You need a rolling pin to roll out your dough, which is your Model Magic clay. Becomes our cookie dough. I've got one of my spoons was in the way. So, okay, I've got my little cup. I like to use these reusable plastic resin cups, whether it's the little ones or the big ones. For this one, I'm using 0.10 milliliters on here. And so I'm going to do, it's equal parts. So I'm going to do like 0.5 of A and 0.5 of B. And then I'm also going to add my colors. So let me grab my colors really quick. Scooch that over there for a second. Okay, so let's see. What do I need? I need the gold. I'm using gold and yellow, orange, brown, and white for mine. Okay, you may not have the same box of dyes, like the epoxy resin colors. But anyway, it just kind of gives you an idea of what I'm using and what you can use. Let's see. Do I have another spoon? Oh, no. Let's do this. I'm going to use a regular. I'll just use a plastic spoon for this. Okay. All right. So how are you guys doing tonight? Happy Friday to all of you. I hope many of you have had a chance to enjoy this event. It is all day today, and it is all day tomorrow. Anne from PNW Crafts Studio is going to be coming up after me, after my segment ends. She will be coming up next. So be sure and stay tuned and watch her. If you are watching from the group, then you can just refresh your page after my segment ends, and then hers will appear for you. So, hey, Kathy, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let me move. I'm going to move this over to here. Got a lot happening over there. I usually use this behind me, which I know you can't see because I have the dual cameras right now, and I have stuff over there because I've been working on getting ready for my cookie workshop. So, all right, so I'm going to do 0.5 of each of these. You want to wear gloves whenever you're working with resin. I'm just going to hold this up because the light helps me. There we go. The light helps me be able to measure properly. I can see with my ring light right here. Okay, so I'm going to put that back. And then before I add I put in half of the, it's an AB solution. So you just want to put in one A or B and then add your colorants, mix them to your liking, and then add the second part. Because once you add them together, I always tell my members, the clock starts ticking. And so I don't want you to rush, and I don't want you, so have everything set out and ready to go before you put them together. And then that way you won't feel like you have to hurry or rush. Okay. All right. So for me, because I've already made these, I'm going to do 2 drops of the white. And I always tell people, it's the only time I'm quiet. It's when I'm counting or measuring. But I want to get it right. Okay. And then 1 drop of orange. Okay. And here's the thing. And this is the other reason, is if you only add like the A or the B, and then you put too many drops, you can always go in and adjust your recipe so that you can add more of the resin to accommodate for it. Do you know what I mean? To account for it, like to adjust for it. Or you can just go in with whatever, whatever will be, and keep track of what you put in there and just see Those are called happy accidents. So you may end up with one of those. Like you may end up liking that color shade. So, all right. So again, I'm using 1 drop of brown. I'm doing brown, yellow, golden, orange, 1 drop of each of those. And then the white is 2 drops. So let me put these back in just to keep them out of our way. And then we're going to stir that up. And then I'm going to add the second part to create our resin. Okay, and then I've got my little molds out here. And again, I've got my chocolate chip mold because I'm going to make more than I need. Okay, I'm going to use the bottom of my spoon and then I'll stir this up. Okay, also I want you to keep in mind whatever color, whenever you're adding resin, like epoxy resin colorants or dyes, whatever color you see in your mixture with your resin is not going to be the final color. Like it's definitely going to come out a different color. Okay, so let me shake that off. And then let me grab, here's one. Oh, yeah, here's one. I'm going to grab a paper towel and set that down. Okay, and then I'm going to add my 0.5. Hello, Quality Crafts by Kathy. Welcome, welcome, Kathy. I love that. Okay, so we've got 0.5, and then I'm just going to hold this up and add my 0.10. Okay, and then I'll show you. For mine, it looks very dark, almost like a coffee, right? So let me show you. Let me stir that up again. Okay, and then because this is resin and now that I'm stirring it, I can set I'm using the end of the spoon to stir this. I do have stirrers, but they're very wide. I'll show you those. But anyway, so I'm using the end of my spoon and then I'll just set that down on, right now I'm doing it on the paper towel, but I will set it and let it cure on parchment. And then once it cures, I can just peel it right off. So that works out well. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you. So once I stir it up, you'll see how dark this is. And then let me grab you. This is the exact same recipe. So I'll show you the difference. Like it's really dark when it's in this state, and then it will lighten up. Okay, so I'm just going to, I usually grab my little baby cookie sheet, and I did not. So, but that's okay, because we're going to just leave these. I'll just move my paper all together. And then we're just going to leave these set up here. Normally I have my little baby cookie sheets and then I can just actually move them off of my tray. All right, so I'm going to take my spoon and I'm just going to pour this in here. And you just want to get them flush. If you get them too full, like it'll come up over your mold. And well, for what we're using for this project, they're going to be laying flat on the icing. So if that happens, you don't have to worry about it. But like if you were going to use it where you were actually going to see the back of your cookie, it makes it easier because it's resin if you just try to make it flush with that mold. Okay. For this, I can go ahead and pour this in. If I was going to use this resin as like a drizzle, then what I would do is I would wait until it's almost ready to cure and then use it. Otherwise, again, if you're doing a drizzle, it would just pour off of your item. But for this, I'm just putting it in. Now I'm doing a chocolate chip mold. Okay, and we're not making chocolate chips for this project, but I made a little bit more because I am using the same color on these chips. These chips are going to be my little butterscotch chips for another project. So it's just funny how you can use the same like ingredients for one project, and call it one thing, and then using the same ingredients, it can be a finished product for something completely different. So, okay. So I just pour these in here. I can tell it's getting thick and it's starting to set up, which is fine, which is what we want. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of scrape out. I don't like to waste anything, especially resin. So I'm going to use my finger and get the rest of this off my spoon. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave these again with my little cup. So I bought these in bulk, so I do have several of them, but what I do is don't wipe it out right now. If you just wait and let it set up, then what you can do is you can come back in once it cures and you can just peel it out of the cup and then you can reuse it. I've got resin on both these gloves, so I'm not going to reuse them. Oh, thank you so much for sprinkling. I appreciate that. We all appreciate it. So, yeah, so if you're new to me, I am Betsy with Heavens To Betsy Cakery. I my passion is creating and teaching how to make realistic looking fake food decor for your tiered trays and displays. And we cover everything from everyday to holidays and seasonal type displays. I do have a membership called the Cakery, a private membership. So if you are interested, you can just put in the comments below and I can give you some more information. It's only $17 a month, and we would love to have you join us. So, okay, so these are setting up. Let me tilt that, and then I'm going to move these over. So many of the things you see behind me were either made in our private membership or they were made, I go live on my business page every Thursday as part of a benefit to my members. We have a collaboration, and right now there's 3 of us. So we've got Eileen from Creative Eye Designs and Mary from Hog Wild Designs, and the 3 of us go live on our Thursday nights as a weekly event. We do a live crafting weekly event. So anyway, so if you're new to me, like or follow my page, and then you'll get notifications and you'll be able to see me go live weekly. Okay, I'm gonna just scoop this forward. They're tiny, so I don't really have to worry too much. Let's see. Actually, let's do it this way because I think I'm gonna, yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna cut my parchment paper. Thank you so much. Kathy said she liked my shirt. I usually will do a workshop either monthly or every other month. Right now, we actually have a workshop coming up. It is called the Splish Splash Cookie Bash. So if you enjoyed these cookies tonight, you may want to pop in or hop in, I should say, or dive in since it's Splish Splash. You may want to dive in to our cookie workshop. So it was scheduled for tomorrow. And now it needed to be rescheduled due to some technical difficulties, which has been crazy. But as far as I know, they're making progress, so things are getting straightened out. But anyway, so if you're interested in our Splish Splash Cookie Bash workshop, our workshops are $28, and it was scheduled for tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And most likely it will now be hosted next Saturday on November, or not November. No, we're not into November. On August 3rd, hopefully next Saturday from 10 to 4. But anyway, I will be making updates. So if you are following me, you will get updates about the Cookie Bash workshop. Cookie Bash. Splish Splash Cookie Bash. And the workshops are $28, but for our members, they get exclusive benefits, and all my workshops are only $10. So huge savings there. So, okay, so let me take a drink and we're going to keep going. And then let me peek at my time really quick. Oh, good. 8:26. Awesome. All right. Okay. So we've got those curing. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll out our cookie dough. And I have everything in process ready for you guys tonight, but I love teaching and I love taking you all step by step. Does get me in trouble sometimes. Well, maybe not trouble, but because I'm just so detail oriented that sometimes, actually I'm going to do 2 of these. It's easier. Sometimes when I'm doing my crafting with you all, I run out of time, especially when I try to keep it within that hour. So, like for instance, last night, can you see my candy corn milkshakes behind me? I'll hold one of those up too for any of you that joined me last night, because I ran out of time before I made the ice cream with you, but I couldn't get the ice cream scooped and put on there before my time ran out. So, okay, so I just get these little individual packets. They come in a 1 ounce. I've got a doggy door so my dogs can come and go. But anyway, so I have a 1 ounce package. These 1 ounce is going to make 1 cookie, but for me, I just find it's easier when I can roll them out in a larger amount. So I'm going to put 2 together and then roll them out, and then I'll show you how I do the second cookie. So there we go. Hey, welcome, newbie to my page. Just followed and sprinkled. Craftifornia Dreamin'. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys, because I'm new to you as well. So whenever your business name shows up, I'd love it if you could say hello with your name underneath so that I can get to know you. So I'd appreciate it. So again, I'm Betsy with Heavens To Betsy Cakery for anybody new to me. Started my business in May of 2020. So in this past May, we just celebrated 4 years of having my business, and then we celebrated May is the best month ever, by the way. It's my birthday. We opened our, I started my business in May, and then a year after that, I started the membership. So we celebrated 3 years in the membership last May. So anyway, you all know me. May is my favorite month. And if you don't know, you'll learn. I love May. And one of the biggest reasons that I love May, it's my birthday month. And so for me, I love it not to get gifts and presents, but I love to give during my month of May. So it just lets me give back in lots and lots of different ways. So yay! Hey, birthday buddy. Shay says that May is my birthday too. Am I saying your name right? Shay, I'm not sure. It's so hard when you see new names or names you haven't seen in a while or seen before. And then, I don't want to mess it up. So, oh, yay. She says, love, love, love the fake bakes. So yeah, if you can see behind me, lots of things happening. We've got some fall, we've got some summer. Usually I'm really into themes, but because we did summer theme in my membership, and then I participated in a Christmas theme, and then I started doing some Halloween themes. So we've just had a little bit of everything this month. Yay! Cynthia says May is my birthday month also. Yay. Oh, speaking of birthdays, so I do have, if anybody's interested for their birthdays, on my website, heavens2betsycakery.com, I do have a birthday club. It doesn't cost you anything to join. It just lets you opt into my email list, and then you will get 10%. You'll get a 10% coupon to shop in my shop. So anyway, so I love celebrating. So it's just a way to help celebrate you as well. So, okay, so I'm just conditioning the clay. I didn't mention this. I just started doing it and not talking about it. So with the clay, especially Model Magic, you really want to condition it. I always recommend like 3 to 5 minutes minimum, depending on what you're making. By conditioning it, as you see, I'm just stretching it and combining it. And what that does is it helps your, whatever you're making, keep from cracking. Like it helps minimize cracks, and especially with cookies. Okay, I will say this, because I love, teaching how to do realistic food. I don't teach people how to do perfect foods. I really don't. I teach them how to make lifelike looking foods, realistic looking foods, because in reality, when you look at real foods, if you're not like manufacturing and like machining out like the exact same thing, then if you made like a tray of cookies, they're not all going to look exactly identical. So, and that's what I love about them. So, okay, let me read comments. Okay, so I just conditioned this, and then I'm going to just grab my rolling pin, and then I'm just going to roll this out. So, and what I do is I'm just kind of moving it with my hand, because this is a 4.5-inch cookie cutter, and I just want to make sure that I'm using, so I'm using the rolling pin, and let me make sure. What brand of clay do you work with? My go-to is Faux. Love that. Yeah, Faux is more of like the foam clay, and so it just depends on what I'm making and what I'm teaching. I'm sorry, I want to take this apart so I can show you what ring I'm using for this. I'm on the biggest ring. There we go. But anyway, so it is the 1/4 inch. So if any of you have like these rolling pins, you can take them, you can adjust them from like a 1/4 inch to a 1/4 to an 1/8 to a 1/16, just depending on what you're making. For me, I love being consistent. Like that's a big thing for me. It's also why I create recipes, because when I'm able to craft a recipe, then I know that, if I wanted to make that same item, like today being in July, and let's say, in December, I wanted to make that same item, like a repeat of that same item, I just go back and I read my recipe, and then I'm able to do it. And then I don't have to worry about, what the outcome will be, because it will match whatever my original recipe was. Okay, so yeah, I like, for these cookies, I like to use the Model Magic. I just find, for me, for this particular cookie, like I do use Model Magic, I do use the foam clay, I do use salt dough, and I do use resin, and I do use plaster Paris. So I have lots of different, I know they're materials, I call my materials ingredients. So I use lots of different ones depending on what I'm making and what look I'm going for. Okay, so for this, I'm just gonna like press it down, and then I'm gonna pull up my dough around it. So let me check on my time. Oh, good. Okay. All right. My members are probably like, you're good. Okay. And then once I do that, I just take my finger and I just kind of tap like this on the outside of my cookie, just because that when you do cookie cutters, you'll get like, sometimes like it doesn't always leave like a smooth, like, it's not that I need it smooth. I just feel like any pieces of the clay that are sticking out when I lift up my cookie cutter, I just kind of smush them back in there. All right. So let me, okay, I'm going to do that. And then let me grab another piece of parchment to put these finished cookies on. Okay, so that I can move them. So let me scooch that and that. Okay. And then these are already setting up. Okay. All right. And then the last cookie, when I roll it out, it's, you can almost not like, it's 1 ounce cookies, but you'll have just a tiny smidge left over, and I'll show you what I mean. And whenever I'm working with Model Magic and I have extra, if I don't feel like it's enough clay for me to like create another item, like we're doing cookies. So for me, like when I get down to the end here, there's not going to be, once I do the cookie cutter, there's only going to be a tiny bit left over. And when that happens, I make marshmallows. So I'll either make a mini marshmallow or a full-size marshmallow. And then I just put those in my stash. And then that way, when I'm making them, I'm going to hold this up and show you. Okay, so you'll see like there's just a tiny bit left on the edge here, but it's enough, like the 1 ounce is enough. I'll move it so you can see. 1 ounce is enough to get 2 full cookies. Well, 1 ounce per cookie. Okay, and then you just might have to kind of like maneuver it a little bit so that the end, there we go, so that the end is on there. So I got my rolling pin on Amazon. So I am an Amazon affiliate. So I will, I can put the link in there. I just like to disclose that just so that way it doesn't cost you anything if you click on that link and purchase something, but it just gives me credit in my affiliate account. So, okay. So, and then again, I'm just going to press these down just like that. All right. And then I'm going to move my rolling pin now. And this brand is Quellens. There are other brands too. This one is called Quellens, and it comes with the rolling pin, and it also comes with a silicone mat. Like it's not just by itself. Okay, so, and then let me show you. So with this, I just have like a tiny ball of clay left over. You could put that back. Like for me, I'm doing the packages, so I don't really have anywhere to put it back to. But if you were using like a big bag of clay and you were pulling out some of your clay and you were weighing or measuring it, then you could just put that back. For me, I don't. That's my opportunity to make some marshmallows. So what I do is I just roll it out, and I won't do too many because I want to keep moving. But anyway, so I roll it out, and then I just cut mine. I'm using the back of my razor knife. I don't want to cut my paper, so I'm using the back of it, and I just cut this into thirds, and then it ends up being 6 mini marshmallows. And then to make my marshmallows, I just roll them up into a ball, and then just rub them between my fingers, and then just kind of smush them at the top and the bottom, and then roll them again and roll them and smush them. And then let them dry overnight. If you make marshmallows, let them dry overnight. So you'll see now I have a little marshmallow. Let them dry overnight, and then come back the next day and then flip them over. So that way both sides of your little marshmallow will air dry. Okay. And then give them at least another day or 2, depending, because you want them to dry, and you don't want to, like I'm a mason jar girl. And so I keep all my stuff in mason jars. And so for me, I don't want them to stick when I put them in my mason jar. I'll grab one and show you. And I'll show you what else I make. But anyway, I don't want them to stick in my mason jar. And then that way, when you're doing like this, and you can kind of like add another, like being able to do the little mini marshmallows now, when you go to do a project where you need them, you can just grab them, like grab and go. Like it just makes your life much easier. Trust me. Especially if you're making most of your items. So, all right. So I'm just going to roll them up, and they don't take, especially these tiny ones, they don't take long to dry. Okay. But yeah, I just keep mine in jars. I have the little mini white ones. I have the large ones. And then I did some colored marshmallows. Again, on another workshop. I do many, many workshops. Love them. Love the community that we build in there. Love the camaraderie in there. Like, it's just a fun time. So, but anyway, so on one of my other, I did a Candyland workshop. So in the Candyland workshop, we made colored marshmallows. So I teach about how to do that. I'm going to grab my mason jar real quick and show you what those look like. So you'll see, I just keep them in a mason jar, and I'll just show you. Like, they don't stick together if you give them time, like, to dry. And then, like, these are like pink and green and yellow and purple. So anyway, so if I was making something more of like a Candyland or something like that, I just grab these and then I have them. So, all right, let me stick this back. And then, okay, so those cookies are ready. We've got, let me do a time check because I'm going to need to mix up my icing. Oh, good. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, so let me, let's mix up our icing. We'll go ahead and go with that. And then, because I do have cookies ready to go. So I grab my scale. All right, and then I want to zero it out. I like using Rubbermaid containers, but I've been getting ready for my workshop and I've been using them up. So, so I found these that I had in storage for when, well, another story for another time. Anyway, I'm using these, and they're larger. They're not as deep, but they're longer. So, but it doesn't matter. It works. So anyway, so I'm zeroing out my scale, and then I'm going to put my little container, and then I'm going to zero it out again, because I just want to weigh my contents, like my ingredients that are going in here. I don't want to weigh I don't want the container's weight. I want to be able to know what I'm putting in here. Okay, so when I do that, Angel says, those are amazing. Even real marshmallows stick unless they're stale. Well, if I was making something and I wanted them to stick, like we did, keep talking about my workshop, sorry. I did a s'mores workshop, and on those, we wanted those to stick, right? Your marshmallows, because we turned them into toasted marshmallows. So something like that, I did want them to stick together. Okay, for this, I'm making 4 ounces altogether, and I'm using 2 ounces of the Fast and Final, and then 2 ounces of the Red Devil one time. So I really missed my other container, but that's okay. I want to use up what I have. Now, if I was just, here I got too much. If I was just, like for this, it has a lid and I want to be able to store it. So if I wasn't going to store it and I was just going to use it all at once, I would just use a reusable plastic bowl to mix up my stuff. And then that way, when I'm done, you know, I can just clean it and then keep going. I've got too much, so I'm coming back in. Okay. And then the other thing I was going to tell you, and I'll show you what I'm using, is that I don't mix my sticks. So I'm using a large popsicle stick, and I'm using one for the Fast and Final, and then I'm using one for my the Red Devil, because I don't want to mix the two. I want them to keep them separate. So so anyways, I'll show you. With this one, I'm using the Fast and Final by DAP, and then I'm not closing it. Hey Kim, welcome, welcome. Oh, you're fine, babe. You're so fine. I'm going to set it in my doorway, or like towards the door. And I do that on purpose so that I don't leave my studio without closing it. Oh, I already grabbed one. Kim, I'll show you what we're making in just a second. We're just measuring out our icing right now. So, okay. And then let me show you with this one. Like, you'll see how thick this one is. And the reason that I use this, and I'll show you, I'll hold it up just in case. Like, it looks like this. Let me get in the camera. Here we go. So the one time looks like this, very thick and chunky. And my Fast and Final, it's just too wet. So for me, if I just use my Fast and Final, I don't get the look that I'm going for. Like it doesn't, I want it to look like icing, like I've iced my cookie. And if it's too wet, it's going to have more of like a soupy look to it. And I just don't like that outcome. So anyway, so just keep that in mind. If you do use Fast and Final and yours is too wet, you can always mix up the 2 brands together and then use them that way. Almost. And almost. And almost. Oh, perfect. Okay, so now I'm at 4. All right, now I can use that same popsicle stick. So, hey, Danae, welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm going to do, move my, there There we go. All right, I'm using the Sea Glass by Americana for our icing. Hey Barb, welcome, welcome. So I'm using, actually wait, hold on. Hold that sleigh. Okay, I'm gonna mix the two together. It just makes it so much easier when you're adding your paints if you just have like the one mixture. So I'm gonna do that first. So you'll see me just kind of coming in. I definitely like the deeper container, but again, I want to use up what I have. So I'm not complaining. I'm just adapting. So welcome Kim, Janae, Barb. We are making snowman snow globe cookies, and I will show you what we're working on. I'm just getting the icing mixed up so that we can ice a cookie together. So all right, so now that that's mixed, I'm going to go back to my scale. I'm going to add 0.4 for my icing. I can leave my popsicle stick in, and I'm just going to zero it out. There we go. All right, let me show you girls, my girls. I'm going to show you my members really quick. This is what we're making. I'm making a little, I wasn't sure if it's a boy or girl, and now I've been calling him. So we're making a little snowman snow globe cookie. So, all right. In the mint green, like we did on our gingerbread workshop. Like I'm already like, my brain was already like, oh, we're making those. We're making it green so that when it comes time for me to decorate in my my vintage, I've got an extra one to go with it. So, okay, so I've zeroed it out. I'm going to use 0.4. Let's bring this in here. So depending on like what paint I'm using, there we go. Depending on what color, how dark or how light I want my final product to be, is how I determine how much paint to put in with my speckle. So you'll see when I first do it, it's really dark, but then as we stir it up, it works, like it gets lighter. So, all right. Can somebody give me a time check? That's the first time I've asked. I've been just looking at myself. But now I'm like, are we at quarter till? Am I past quarter till? Where am I? There we go. Okay. Oh, good. 8:45. Thank you. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. All right, so it's a little tricky for me to get all this white on this large pan mixed in, but we're doing it. I'm doing it. Okay, and then, so if you make these, use any color that you want. That's, again, how I really like to encourage you to be creative. As I say, think outside the box. Like what is your decor? Like what are you interested in? Like for me, I want to do the vintage look, and now you'll see it's a lighter minty green. But if not, like you can do, we're going to do the cookies real quick, and then I'll ice it, because once I do that, we'll be done. Okay, so I've got some cookies over here ready. Let me let me grab one glove. Oopsie. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to grab one glove. And then I'm going to hold the cookie in my hand and then paint it. Okay, and we're painting the bottom of it and the sides and then just the rim of the cookie. So I'm going to turn it over. Let me grab, here's one. Whoopsie. Just going to grab one of these. And then, again, I'm using my cookie base color, this particular one. So thanks, Elizabeth. She said it looks like frosting. It does. It really does. It turns out really cute. Okay, so I'm just using my cookie base color. For this one, I have a recipe written down for this one because I name them different things. So anyway, if you are interested in what colors I used, I will share that with you in the comments. Right now, I don't want to say because I'd be guessing. I don't like to guess. I like my recipes. So, all right. So anyway, so I'm just, I'm coating the edges like this. And then after it dries, I'm going to come back and you just want to go, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit right here. It'll be fine. But you just want to add enough. You want to cover enough on the rim so that when you're doing your icing, that you're, that you don't see any of that white model magic. Like that's the whole reason why we're going up over that edge. Okay, and then you definitely want to go on your edges. Okay, and then this is just like a really nice, like almost like a sugar cookie color when it dries. And then if you want to go in afterwards, which I usually do, so that I love giving depth to my thing. So I don't generally just do like one coat, or I mean one color. I like to give things a base coat, and then I like to come back in and I like to highlight and shade with like highlights, lowlights. Just give it some shading. So for my cookie, do I have it over here? Let me look real quick. That's not it. Oh wait, here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, I don't see it. Oh wait, sorry. Let me look at this one. Okay, here it is. I'm like, it's over here. So for my shading on my cookies, I will use the Cocoa by Decor, the Americana. So yeah, Janae, I will come back in and I'll share with you. Oh, Kim, thank you so much. She said Betsy's amazing. Love you. Thank you so much. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to put that in water. So you're just going to paint the bottom, and then you're going to come up over the sides of it, and then set that down, and then let that dry completely before you come back in and you paint like the edging on the top of the cookie. Okay. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. She said our Splish Splash Cookie Bash will have some, meaning the cookie colors. Yes, it will. Okay, so let's put that aside. Okay, and then I've got one of these ready. So let me get all of my, let me assemble this really quick. Okay, I'm good still. For the piping bag, I'm using the tip, which is the number 3, and it's just a teeny tiny hole. I don't know if you can see that, maybe. So anyway, so I'm going to cut my piping bag, and I'm going to get that ready so that we can put our cookie globe on the finished cookie. So yeah, so when you're making yours, you want to make sure and let that icing and all of your little accessories, oh, this is too big. Yeah, let me grab another bag real quick. Yeah, you're going to want to let your icing cure before, I forgot this was such a teeny tiny tip. So I'll save that for a bigger one. There we go. You want to let your cookie icing and everything set up and cure before you put your little globe on. Oh, thank you so much, Kim. Yeah, and then that way you don't have to worry about, because think of it like this. When you have spackle in your bucket and it's wet and you put the lid back on, it doesn't cure, right? So if you put your little globe on and you don't let it cure, you'd probably have wet spackle in there. We don't want that, right? Okay, so now that one's better. Okay, so I'm a mason jar girl. Love my mason jar. So I'm just going to fold this over top of my jar. And then I don't need a lot for my cookie. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some of this down in there. And then that way I'll be able to finish the one to show you the globe that will finish it. I don't need a whole lot. Okay. So I'm going to leave that, set that aside. Let me move my lid. I'm just going to leave that open. Now with this, I don't mind leaving this open because it's going to dry out a little bit, and I'm a-okay with that. So, all right, so I'm going to put that back. I'm going to grab a smaller, here we are. There we go. I need to grab a smaller popsicle stick. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in here, and then I'm literally, you just want to make sure, again, I want those edges covered. Like I don't want to see, and I'll show you what I mean. I don't want to see, like you want to go all the way to the end. See how you can still see like the white model magic? We don't want to see that. So I just start out on the ends, not the ends, the edges, and just make sure that they're completely covered. And if it goes over a little bit, I'm okay with that because it's icing, right? Okay, and let me turn it a little bit. Go with that. So wait, I'll catch up with comments in just a second. The pressure's on. I want to finish and show you how I did it. Okay, there's really not pressure. I have a lot of fun when I'm creating and crafting. So I just say, I just love to talk to you all. I used to get in trouble when I was a kid because I talked too much. So nothing much has changed. Okay, so Except I don't really get in trouble now. Okay, so there you go. All right, then, so I have it really thick. Oh, sorry, over in this camera. I have it really thick. I'm going to add just a little bit more in the center and then move it around. And then you don't have to have any particular pattern. For me, I like the swirls, so I do. So I make a swirly pattern, but you don't have to. You just want to keep it covered. Like you just want sufficient coverage. Okay. So you'll see what I mean. I just add like the little swirly thing. Okay, and then I'm going to set that down. Let me grab, oh, I have a wet wipe here. So, hey, Eileen, welcome, welcome. Angel says, I love how organized you are and how you come up with recipes. What a difference that makes. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, I just love it. So it's just so much fun. Okay, so we're going to grab our little, so I'm not using the ones that I just made. I'm using the ones that are cured. So I'm going to grab the nose and my little holly berries, my candy cane. I got my 3. Eileen, I'll show you in just a second what I'm making. I grab my 3. How am I doing on time? I'll grab my 3. Okay. We're going to make it. Okay, so here's what we're making. My little snowman snow globe cookie, and it looks like this. All right, so I've got all of his accessories, and I need my chocolate. Okay, so with the, I'm using the little carrot, and the carrot, you could use any carrots. Like if you wanted to make one out of even, you know, foam clay or like polymer clay, you could. These are little cabochons I got from Hobby Lobby back at Easter, and I just have extras. So anyway, I'm just going to break this off really easy peasy, just like that. So I just have the carrot part of his nose. Okay, and before I do that, I'm going to use one of my tops, my little snow globe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it on my cookie, just gently center it. And you don't want to put it down tight. You just kind of want to etch it a little bit, just a tiny bit. Oops, I need a little more. And the reason for that is I need to know, there we go. I need to know where my snowman is going. So that way I make sure he stays within that snow globe. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start. I'm going to put the bottom of my cookie down first, just in the center at the bottom. Can you see me, guys? I hope so. All right. And then I'm going to add my top. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of space between them. Not so much space, but I smushed it. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. I'm going to lift it up to show you. Okay, I set it above that other cookie, and then I smushed it down so that that icing would come up between the cookies. Okay, and the reason for that is we're going to put that little holly berry in there, and I want to make sure it's a button, and on the back of my holly berry has this little, little loop. Can you see that? Oops, I'm out of the camera. Let me hold it this way for you. Has a little loop. And that is what's going to stick down into that icing. But I'm also using the tacky glue on the leaves to make sure that sticks. That the leaves stick to the cookie itself is what I tried to say. So I'm just going to put a little bit. Can somebody give me a time check? Please. Please, oh please. Okay. So I'm just using a little bit of that. Put my lid back on there. All right. And then I'm just setting it down on my cookie. It's just kind of like I'm giving him like a thing around his neck, like a scarf. That was my idea. Okay, so giving him a scarf. Okay, and you want to put your holly little scarf on first. 4 minutes, thank you. You want to put your little scarf on first before you add, we're using the chocolate, the brown fabric paint, and we're going to use it as chocolate. So before you do that, you want to put your stuff on first before you do the chocolate, because once you do the chocolate, you don't want to disturb it. Okay, so after I do that, I'm going to push the little nose in there, just like that. So my nose is in there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my snowflakes. I'm going to put one up in the corner, and then another one in this corner. Well, it's not a corner, but at the top, right? And then I'm just going to set one over here. Okay, and then now I'm going to grab my my little chocolate. Let me put him down here. 3 minutes, thank you. Okay, and then let me straighten out his nose. There. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to add, I'm just doing like, let me wipe this off, a little smiley face. I'm not doing eyes. You could if you wanted to. I'm just doing like a little, let me pour some out. Okay. I'm just doing like a little C, like a, you know, like a smiley. And then I'm just doing a little tiny bit like on the cheeks. And then I'm going to give him 3 little buttons. As you know, like Frosty, got little buttons down there. You could use any color. I chose brown because I wanted it to look like chocolate. Okay. And then I'm going to give him little arms. So I'm going to start with the right one. You want to make sure the arms are attached to the cookie. You know what I mean? Like make sure they come off the cookie. And then over here. And then I'm going to stick my little candy cane in his hand like that. Okay, and then after I do that, I have my glitter. So I'm just going to use, let me grab a plate really quick. I'm just going to take the glitter. I don't necessarily want it on the, let me set that somewhere. I don't necessarily want the glitter on the chocolate, but the glitter is supposed to be snow. Oh, this is why I had it on the mason jar. I knew it was a reason. But anyway, 1 minute. Okay, the glitter is supposed to be snow. So if it does get on a little bit of the chocolate, I'm okay with that. But anyway, I just sprinkle it on so that it looks like snow. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, so Anne from P&W Crafts Studio is coming up next after me. Okay, and then we're just going to set that one there. And then I've got my, here, I'll set it there. All right, let me grab another lid. 1 minute, 1 minute. I'm going to grab this one, scooch it out of the way. Grab my lid. I've got my piping bag. All right, so stay tuned for Anne. I am going to hop off of here so that she can get into the group. But thank you all for joining me this evening and spending time with me. I appreciate it. I'm just taking my piping bag and I'm filling up that groove. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to stick the lid on it. It's the same color icing, so I'm not worried what it looks like as far as if it gets smushed out of there. There you go. I'm all done. Thank you all for joining me. Here's our little snow globe snowman cookie. So, all right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, so if you're interested in what you've seen, I would love it if you would like or follow me, and then you can stay updated with me. So, all right, I'm going to hop off here. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for Anne. Bye.